The way you think shapes your entire life. If you believe you are blessed, you will begin to see blessings unfold before you. But if you constantly dwell on negativity, if you allow yourself to be consumed by worry, doubt, and fear, then you are shutting the door to the very things you are hoping for. So many people walk through life burdened by their past, weighed down by their circumstances, convinced that they are stuck in a cycle of misfortune. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to stay there. You have the power to bless yourself by changing the way you think. Start with gratitude when you wake up in the morning, before you reach for your phone, before you start thinking about all the things you have to do. Take a moment and just be thankful. Thankful for another day, thankful for the breath in your lungs, thankful for the opportunities that lie ahead. A grateful heart opens the door to blessings. Instead of focusing on what you lack, start seeing what you already have. Because the more you acknowledge your blessings, the more you will attract them. You see, our words have power. The things we tell ourselves, the thoughts we entertain, they shape our reality. Some people go through life saying, I'll never be successful. I'll never be happy. Nothing ever works out for me. And sure enough, life keeps proving them right. But when you start to shift that mindset, when you begin to declare, I am blessed, I am capable, I am strong, I have everything I need to succeed, you begin to walk in the reality of those words. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's the principle of faith in action. The mind is a powerful thing, and when you align it with the right thoughts, you set yourself up to receive the blessings meant for you. There's a story about a man who always seemed to have bad luck. Every time something good was about to happen, something would go wrong. One day he met someone who told him, you've been expecting failure, so failure keeps finding you. Change your expectations and your life will change. That man decided to shift his thinking. He started believing that good things were on their way. He started waking up with hope instead of fear, and little by little things began to turn around. It wasn't magic. It wasn't coincidence. It was a change in mindset that made all the difference. You may be facing challenges today. You may be struggling with disappointment, setbacks, or uncertainty about the future, but don't let those things define you. Don't let negative circumstances dictate your mindset. Instead, start speaking blessings over your life. When doubt creeps in, replace it with faith. When fear tries to take over, remind yourself that you are equipped to handle whatever comes your way. When you feel like giving up, remind yourself that breakthrough is just around the corner. Blessing yourself isn't about waiting for something external to happen. It's about creating an internal shift that invites those blessings in. So choose today to see the good. Choose to speak life over yourself. Choose to believe that you are favored, that you are loved, and that greater things are ahead. Because when you do, you won't just be waiting for blessings, you'll be walking in them. Here's the expanded segment in the same powerful, engaging style. Your body is a gift. It's the vessel through which you experience life, the instrument that allows you to fulfill your purpose, to love, to serve, to create. But too often, people take their health for granted. They push themselves beyond their limits, neglect their well-being, and then wonder why they feel exhausted, anxious, or weighed down by life. If you want to bless yourself, you must start by taking care of yourself. There are people who will work tirelessly for success, for wealth, for recognition, but they won't take a moment to rest, to nourish their body, to guard their mental peace. They'll stay up all night chasing dreams, but ignore the warning signs their body gives them. And what good is success if you're too tired, too sick, or too burned out to enjoy it? What good is having all the money in the world if stress has stolen your joy, if poor health has taken away your strength? You can't fully receive the blessings meant for you if you're running on empty. Some people treat their bodies like a machine, constantly running, never stopping, expecting it to keep going no matter how much neglect it endures. But even machines need maintenance. Even the strongest engines break down if they're not cared for. And yet, there are those who believe they can mistreat their body and still perform at their best. That's not how it works. If you want to live a blessed life, you must honor the vessel you've been given. That means being mindful of what you put into your body. It means choosing nourishment over convenience, strength over indulgence. It's not about following every new diet trend or living by impossible standards. It's about making choices that give you energy instead of draining it, that sustain you instead of breaking you down. When you treat your body with care, you'll find that you have more clarity, more strength, more endurance to do the things you were called to do. But taking care of yourself isn't just about physical health. It's about your mind, your emotions, your spirit. How many people today are walking around exhausted, not because of physical labor, but because they are carrying the weight of stress, of worry, of anxiety. They are constantly overwhelmed, constantly striving, constantly distracted by everything around them. They never take a moment to breathe, to rest, to recharge. And then they wonder why they feel empty inside. Rest is not laziness. Taking care of your mind is not weakness. You cannot bless yourself if you are constantly pouring out but never filling back up. Some people believe that the more they push themselves, the more they accomplish. But I've seen people who have everything, fame, fortune, influence, but they have no peace. They can't sleep at night. They feel empty despite all their success, because true blessing isn't just about what you have, it's about how you feel, how you live, how you thrive. So what are you doing to guard your peace? Are you constantly letting negative thoughts consume you? Are you allowing toxic relationships to drain your energy? Are you filling your mind with things that bring you fear, stress, or discouragement? If you want to bless yourself, you must be intentional about what you allow into your life. Protect your mind as much as you protect your body. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who encourage you, who speak life into you. Be mindful of what you watch, what you listen to, what you dwell on. Because what you allow into your mind will shape your reality. You were never meant to live exhausted, defeated, barely making it through each day. You were meant to live in strength, in vitality, in purpose. And that starts with taking care of yourself. When you bless your body, when you guard your mind, when you prioritize rest and nourishment, you will find that life flows differently. Doors will open. Opportunities will come. You'll have the energy, the clarity, the peace to receive the blessings meant for you. So don't wait until sickness forces you to slow down. Don't wait until burnout steals your joy. Choose today to take care of yourself. Choose to rest, to nourish, to protect the life you've been given. Because when you do, you won't just be surviving, you'll be thriving. Here's the expanded segment in the same powerful, engaging style. There is something remarkable that happens when you shift your focus from what you can receive to what you can give. So many people go through life looking for blessings, waiting for something good to come their way, hoping for a breakthrough. But what if I told you that one of the greatest ways to bless yourself is by becoming a blessing to others? There is a principle woven into the fabric of life. The more you give, the more you receive. It's not always in the way you expect. And it's not about giving so you can get something in return. It's about living with an open heart, a generous spirit, and a willingness to pour into others. There are people who spend their whole lives chasing success, building wealth, accumulating things, and yet they still feel empty inside. No matter how much they gain, it never seems to be enough. But then there are those who may not have much in the eyes of the world, yet they are full of joy, full of peace, full of purpose. What's the difference? The difference is that some live with clenched fists, trying to hold on to everything they have, while others live with open hands, ready to give, ready to serve, ready to make a difference. When you live generously, something incredible happens. You begin to see life differently. You start to notice the needs around you. You become more aware of the struggles of others, and instead of just feeling sorry for them, you take action. You don't have to be wealthy to be generous. You don't have to have all the answers or be in a perfect situation yourself. Sometimes the smallest act of kindness, a word of encouragement, a listening ear, a helping hand, can change someone's entire day, maybe even their entire life. And what you don't realize is that in blessing others, you are blessing yourself. Think about a river that flows is full of life, refreshing everything it touches. But a body of water that has no outlet, that only takes in and never gives, becomes stagnant. It loses its freshness. It becomes lifeless. The same is true for us. If we live only for ourselves, only seeking our own gain, we begin to lose something within us. But when we pour out, when we give, when we serve, we stay alive. We stay refreshed. We stay connected to something greater than ourselves. I've met people who have gone through deep struggles, real pain, real hardships, and yet in the midst of their trials, they chose to serve others. They chose to give even when they didn't have much to give. And in doing so, they found healing, they found purpose, they found joy, because giving shifts your perspective. It reminds you that no matter what you're facing, you still have something to offer. You still have the ability to make a difference. And when you do, you begin to realize that you are not just waiting for a blessing, you are walking in one. There are moments when life can feel overwhelming, when it seems like you're the one who needs help, when you're struggling to keep going. But even in those moments, you can choose to be a blessing, a kind word, a small act of generosity, a simple gesture of love. These things don't cost much, but they have the power to bring light into someone's darkest hour. And when you bring light to others, you cannot help but be illuminated yourself. You may be asking, what do I have to give? What can I offer? The answer is simple. You can offer love. You can offer kindness. You can offer time, encouragement, compassion. You don't need to have a lot to give, just a willing heart. And when you make generosity a lifestyle, you begin to see how the very things you give come back to you in ways you never expected. So today, choose to live with open hands. Choose to be a giver, a servant, a light in someone's life, because when you do, you won't just be waiting for blessings to come to you. You'll be walking in them every single day. There's the expanded segment in the same powerful, engaging style. You are never meant to stay the same. Life is about growth, about becoming more, about stepping into the fullness of who you were created to be. But too many people settle. They settle for just getting by, for just doing enough to make it through another day. They settle for a routine, for a life that is predictable but unfulfilling. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, why nothing ever changes. If you want to bless yourself, you must make the decision to grow. You must choose to pursue personal growth, to stretch yourself, to go beyond what is comfortable and step into what is possible. Growth isn't automatic. You don't wake up one day wiser, stronger, more capable than you were the day before. No, growth is a choice. It's a decision to learn, to improve, to challenge yourself. And growth isn't always easy. It requires effort. It requires commitment. It requires you to step outside of what is familiar and embrace the process of becoming more. But when you do, when you choose to invest in yourself, when you choose to develop your mind, your skills, your character, you open the door to new opportunities, new blessings, new possibilities. Some people wait for life to change before they decide to grow. They say, I'll work on myself when things get better. I'll improve when the timing is right. I'll take a step forward when I feel ready. But if you wait for the perfect moment, you'll be waiting forever. Growth doesn't happen when conditions are perfect. It happens when you make the choice to start where you are with what you have right now. Maybe there's a dream inside of you that you've been putting off. Maybe there's something you've always wanted to do, something you've always wanted to become, but you've told yourself it's not the right time. But what if now is the time? What if the very thing you've been waiting for is on the other side of your growth? You have more in you than you realize. There is potential inside of you that has yet to be unlocked. But you won't see it until you step out, until you challenge yourself, until you refuse to settle for anything less than your best. Growth doesn't always feel good in the moment. It's uncomfortable. It requires discipline. It requires patience. It requires you to push through resistance, to face challenges, to embrace failure as a lesson rather than a defeat. But every time you grow, you become stronger. Every time you learn, you become wiser. Every time you stretch yourself, you open the door to greater blessings in your life. Look at the people who have achieved great things, not just in terms of success, but in terms of impact, in terms of character, in terms of purpose. They didn't get there by accident. They got there because they made the decision to grow, to learn, to push past their limits. They didn't let fear hold them back. They didn't let failure stop them. They kept going, kept stretching, kept believing that there was more ahead. And because they did, they walked into the fullness of what was meant for them. You have that same ability within you. You were not meant to stay the same year after year, living in the same struggles, facing the same challenges, never moving forward. You were meant to grow. You were meant to learn. You were meant to rise above where you are today and step into something greater. But it won't happen by accident. It will happen when you make the choice to invest in yourself, to develop your mind, to build your skills, to strengthen your character. So don't settle, don't wait, don't hold back. Choose to grow, choose to become more, choose to step into the fullness of what is possible for your life. Because when you do, you won't just be waiting for blessings to come to you. You will be walking in them, growing into them, and becoming everything you were meant to be. There is a longing in every human heart for something greater than ourselves. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, deep inside there is a desire for meaning, for connection, for something beyond what this world can offer. Some try to fill that longing with success, with relationships, with material things. But no matter how much they achieve or acquire, there's still an emptiness that nothing in this world can satisfy. If you truly want to bless yourself, if you truly want to walk in peace, in strength, in confidence, then you must strengthen your spiritual connection. Because without it, you will always feel like something is missing. Life is unpredictable. There will be moments of joy and moments of pain. There will be times of triumph and times of struggle. And if your foundation is built only on what is temporary, on what can change, on what can be lost, then you will always feel shaken when life doesn't go as planned. But when your spirit is anchored in something unshakable, when your faith is strong, when your connection to the source of all wisdom, all peace, all strength is firm, then no storm can take away your hope. No setback can steal your joy. No challenge can make you forget who you are and whose you are. There are people who go through life feeling lost, feeling uncertain, feeling like they are wandering without direction. They chase after things that promise happiness, but in the end those things leave them feeling even more empty. They work tirelessly to create a life that looks good on the outside, but inside they feel exhausted and unfulfilled. But there is another way. When you strengthen your spiritual life, when you make time to connect, to pray, to reflect, to seek guidance, you will find that life takes on a new meaning. You begin to see beyond the surface, beyond the distractions, beyond the things that the world tells you matter. You begin to walk with a sense of peace, a sense of purpose, a sense of assurance that no matter what happens, you are not alone. Some people treat their spiritual life as an afterthought. They only turn to it when they're in trouble, when they need something, when life gets hard. But just like a relationship, just like anything else that is valuable, your spiritual life needs to be nurtured. It needs to be a priority. You wouldn't expect to be physically strong if you never exercised, if you never ate nourishing food, if you never took care of your body. In the same way, you cannot expect to have a strong spirit if you never invest in it, if you never spend time in prayer, if you never take time to be still, to listen, to seek truth. There will be times when life tests you, times when you feel like you don't have the answers, when you don't understand why things are happening the way they are. But those who are spiritually strong do not crumble under the weight of uncertainty. They stand firm because they know where their strength comes from. They know that no matter what happens, they are held, they are guided, they are loved. You may be facing something difficult right now. You may be in a season where you feel unsure, where you feel like you're carrying burdens too heavy to bear, but you don't have to carry them alone. There is peace available to you. There is wisdom waiting for you. There is a presence that will walk with you through every high and every low, but you have to make the choice to seek it. You have to be willing to trust, to believe, to open your heart to something greater than yourself. Strengthening your spiritual life doesn't mean life will always be easy. It doesn't mean you will never face hardships, but it does mean you will never face them alone. It means that even in the darkest moments, you will have a light that guides you. Even in the most difficult trials, you will have a strength that sustains you. Even when everything around you feels uncertain, you will have a peace that cannot be shaken. So today, make the choice to nourish your spirit. Make the choice to seek truth, to walk in faith, to strengthen the foundation of your life. Because when you do, you won't just be waiting for blessings, you will be walking in them, covered by them, and led by a peace that nothing in this world can take away. Life is too short to be lived in fear. Too many people wake up each day feeling weighed down by doubt, by anxiety, by the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of the unknown. They hesitate, they hold back, they play it safe because they're afraid of making the wrong move. But if you truly want to bless yourself, if you truly want to walk in the fullness of what is meant for you, then you must learn to live with courage, because fear will always try to steal what belongs to you. It will always try to keep you small, to keep you stuck, to keep you from stepping into your purpose. But courage will open doors you never thought possible. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's not pretending that challenges don't exist. It's not ignoring the risks, the obstacles, the uncertainty. Courage is moving forward in spite of those things. It's stepping out even when you don't have all the answers. Even when you don't know exactly how it will turn out. And that's where so many people struggle. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until they have complete certainty. They wait until they have guarantees before they take a step. But if you wait for the perfect moment, you will be waiting forever. Because the truth is, there is no perfect moment. There's no path without risk. There is no journey without uncertainty. And if you let fear hold you back, you will miss the life that was meant for you. Think about the people who have accomplished great things. Not just in terms of success, but in terms of impact, in terms of purpose, in terms of living fully. They weren't necessarily the most talented, the most skilled, the most prepared, but they had one thing in common. They had the courage to take a step. They had the courage to believe in something greater than their fear. They had the courage to keep going even when it was hard, even when they faced opposition, even when they didn't know exactly what was ahead. Too many people live their lives based on what others think. They let the opinions of others dictate their decisions, their dreams, their direction. They are so afraid of being judged, of being criticized, of failing in front of others, that they never take a chance. But you cannot let the fear of what people think keep you from doing what you were created to do. You cannot let the voices of doubt drown out the voice of purpose inside of you. Because at the end of your life, you will look back and regret the times you failed. You will regret the times you never tried. You will regret the moments when you let fear win, when you let opportunities pass you by, when you played it safe instead of stepping out in faith. Courage doesn't always look like some grand heroic act. Sometimes courage is simply getting up one more time after you've been knocked down. Sometimes courage is speaking up when it would be easier to stay silent. Sometimes courage is taking the first step when you don't know what the second step will be. And sometimes courage is choosing to keep believing, to keep hoping, to keep trusting that there is something greater ahead, even when everything in you wants to give up. Fear will tell you to stay where you are. It will tell you that stepping out is too risky, that change is too difficult, that failure is too painful. But what fear doesn't tell you is that staying where you are has a cost too. The cost of never knowing what could have been. The cost of living a life that is less than what you were made for. The cost of looking back one day and realizing that you let fear make your choices for you. You're not meant to live in fear. You're meant to live boldly. You are meant to step into your purpose, to embrace the calling on your life, to walk in faith instead of fear. And the moment you decide to do that, the moment you refuse to let fear control your life, you will find that you are already living in the blessing you were searching for. So today, make the decision to be bold. Make the decision to live with courage. Make the decision to step out, to take the risk, to believe that there is something greater ahead. Because when you do, you won't just be waiting for blessings. You will be walking in them, standing in them, and living a life that is truly